Amongst all of the Soul Reapers stands a group of Shinigami who possess indomitable strength with captivating designs that keep your eyes locked in on them, and compelling writing that will make you want to see more of them. The Gotei 13 captains. We love all of these guys, but what happens when you stack them up against each other? If you had to rank them, who do you think are the 3 best captains in Bleach? And while you answer that question in the comments below, let's go ahead and start with the video. Now, on a list where you're ranking every single captain to ever be employed, I think it's fair to have Love and Lisa at the very bottom of the list. I mean, come on. These two are complete jobbers, 2 sidemen that nobody cares about. I mean, gang, come on. Lisa is just a knockoff of Shunsui's vice captain. Like, look at these two. And you want me to care about her? As if. And then you got my man Love, you know, he's there. You know, Love isn't as bad as Lisa. I just refuse to rank him above anyone else on this list. Plus, you know, he's still a jobber. Like, I'm fairly new to the Bleach fanbase, but I have never, ever heard anyone gas these two up at all. Like, I've never heard anyone say, hi, my name is Bryce, and my favorite character is the Visored Lisa. Like, I've never heard anyone say that. And my sister's favorite character is Cone. They both got fired from the Gotei 13. They both don't have Bankais. These two are absolute losers, but, you know, to be fair, they are Visors. It's kind of in their DNA. Oh, great. Up next, we have another Visor. Captain Rose. Who likes this guy? Like, whose favorite captain is Captain Rose? Rose started off as a captain, got fired. For some reason, Yamamoto rehired him, and then during the Quincy Blood War, this man on the first day of the job decided to be the biggest failure ever. If Yhwach didn't kill Yamamoto, I promise you, Rose was gonna get fired again. I don't think you guys get it right. Rose's Bankai can be countered by putting both your fingers into your ears and go la 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 la. I'm this close to ranking you lower than Lisa and Love, because at least with them, right? They were jobbers, but they didn't have any big losses like you did, Rose. Okay, what I'm about to say next may or may not anger a lot of you, but if it does, I completely understand, because up next we have Ukitake. Like, what does this man do during the entire series? I swear to God, you guys were watching Bleach and I was watching Detergent, because I swear I've never seen this man Ukitake do nothing but be sick. That's actually crazy. Now that I'm recording this, I'm actually thinking back to some I messed up and I said Shunsui, but I meant to say Ukitake. But the only reason I said Shunsui is because every single Ukitake moment is a Shunsui moment. Soul Society arc. Ukitake and Shunsui versus Yamamoto. Then we go to fake Karakura Town. You have Stark versus Shunsui featuring Ukitake. As a anime only writes, I'm an anime only. This man Ukitake hasn't done shit, and I refuse to rank him above any other captain. You know, what sucks about Kensei, right, is that he had potential. He had potential to be a really cool character. Look at his design when he was a Visored, and then look at his design during the 1,000-Year Blood War. That glow up right there just screams, I done got it out the mud, now I'm making big racks. Look, my man has a unique Zanpakuto. It's a shank, you know, a very less effective sword, but it's still a unique Zanpakuto. And oh look, Kensei just pulled up to save Hisagi from masculine. And oh look, he just popped Bankai. Look, he's about to throw hands with the blades on his fist, and he just lost. And hold on, let's go back to your Bankai, because it's really lame. Like it's really lame. You're punching people with the massage gun. But hey, at least the design is cool. Well, here comes all the take comments, because up next we have Ichigo's dad, Isshin Kurosaki. Like, hear me out guys, hear me out. I know he's a good father. I don't hate the guy. I know he's a great character, he's a super strong captain and all, but there have been many amazing captains that have been in the Gotei 13, and I'm sorry, but Isshin doesn't stack up to any of them. I mean, you have characters like Kenpachi, Aizen, Byakuya, Unohana, Yamamoto. Do you really expect me to rank Isshin above or even near those characters? Yeah, I thought so. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I apologize. I love the character. I love the concept of Ichigo's dad being a former Soul Reaper that was super strong and all, but I love it. It makes Ichigo a second generation Soul Reaper. Like, props to Isshin for being an amazing single father, raising 3 kids on his own. Props to him. Clap it up for him. But we also have to give props to Isshin for creating a legacy. Once Ichigo became the greatest Soul Reaper in the Soul Society, he made the Kurosaki family name a royal family, which I guess you can say Soul Reaping has more than one royal family. You know, I didn't like you at first, but once we got towards the end of the series, I really liked you, especially your dynamic with Rangaku. My man Gin was willing to work alongside Aizen just to get revenge for his baby girl Rangaku. Man, love will make you do crazy things. But you know, besides that, Gin, the rest of your character, you know, it's not too bad. You know, your design, it reminds me of Brock from Pokemon. Thank God Bleach did not come out in 2023. You would have gotten us canceled. Then we have his Bankai, which allows him to extend his sword up to like what, 100 meters? And that's it. That's all it does. Like, where's the pizzazz, Gin? Where's the spectacle? Are you really about to walk around here with an extendo blade Bankai? You are? Okay. See, that's why your ass is dead now. If I had to select the biggest fraud in the Gotei 13, it has to be Shinji, right? Like, it has to be Shinji. Look at this coconut head looking motherfucker. He kept getting hyped up. Oh my god, his Bankai has been banned from the Soul Society. His Shikai is so powerful. He's the leader of the Vizards. You had all of the hype in the world surrounding you, and you turned out to be nothing more than a fraud. And I understand why Shinji fans hate hearing that word. You guys have my condolences. You have to be Shinji fans. This man is 1 for 1 a fraud. You had all of these credentials to be a main eventer. You come down to the ring with your own custom music. Every single one of your themes have been a bop. But when it comes down to the match results, you flop. What? You had 1 victory against Grimmjow. Against Aizen, you got clapped. Against Bambietta, you got clapped in 2 frames. 2 frames of animation, you got clapped. Like, dog, you should be happy that I ranked you this high. But you know what, Shinji? You're still pretty cool to me. Finally, we have another brother in the house. How are you doing, my homie? My brother from another mother. Kaname Tosen is a dope character. As you guys know, I like him. Who doesn't like him? He was truly the Miles Morales of anime. Listen, alright, let's be honest. Tosen is one of Kubo's best designs in all of Bleach. Hands down, without a doubt. My man Kubo really added a metrosexual Travis Scott to Bleach. Tosen has a 10 out of 10 design. Then we look at his Bankai, or, you know, should I say, his domain expansion, the original domain expansion. Too bad the one and only time Tosen busted out his Bankai, he got slapped by Kenpachi. And let's not talk about his resurrection form. But what I like most about Tosen is his writing. I think he has one of the more interesting characters in all of Bleach. The only reason that Tosen is a villain in the first place is because the Soul Society hold him and his girl. I can't believe it. I cannot fucking believe it. Even in anime, the justice system hates black people. I'm completely on Tosen's side. I completely understand why Aizen and Tosen are best friends. Alright, look, I promise I'm not trying to piss you guys off, but 13th is the highest I could rank Toshiro. And I know what you guys are gonna say. Oh, what about adult Toshiro? That form matters, but that's like the very end of his career. That's like how much? 5% of his career? Look at the rest of his career. Built up to be one of the coldest characters in all of Bleach, but only turned out to be one of the biggest disappointments. Nah, let me stop. Toshiro is not that bad, okay? I make him out to be like the worst person in Bleach, but he's really not that bad. He's like the strongest ice user in Bleach, which is saying something because you also have Rukia. Toshiro's Bankai is one of the coolest looking in all of Bleach. Matter of fact, Toshiro's design overall is peak fiction. It's the perfect design to be a fan favorite character. Look at the people that came after him. Todoroki, Levi. He was the blueprint, the original. What sucks about Toshiro is that it seems like he loses every single fight. He's not getting his hairline caved in all the time like Renji does, but he's still getting whipped out here. My man Hitsugaya is supposed to be the coldest captain that the Gotei 13 has, but every single time when he is put in the main events, when the lights are the brightest, he just melts under pressure. To be a captain amongst the 13 court guard squads, you must have that dog in you, or in Komamura's case, you gotta be that dog. From his very first appearance, when Komamura had the bucket hat, I was instantly intrigued. Why does everyone else have their faces revealed, but he doesn't? I want to know why. But then once we got the reveal, I was like, oh, I know Kubo is about to cook with this character. I know he's going to make a wonderful discrimination plotline with Komamura, even though he has a black guy right there. But I just want to know, why do we have a dog on the team? Like, I know Yamamoto was sitting in his office talking to the higher ups like, oh, well, I see. We're gonna need a K9 unit then. And he went and got a K9 unit. Standing at 9'5", 600 pounds. He is an absolute unit. Forget protecting the Soul Society. I need you on Sunday night protecting Patrick Mahomes. Dog, look at this man. He looks like the human version of Zashin. And my man Komamura gave up his heart to kill Bambietta. He really said, don't need it. As long as that bitch is dead, I'll give it up. That's a real homie right there, man. You love to see that. I guess what they say is true. Dogs are man's best friend. So I want to take this time to address my recent Bleach waifu tier list video, and I would like to make an apology to everyone that watched that video for how dirty I did Unohana. Like, I know I always do the joke with the tier list videos like, ooh, D tier for dead, but Unohana did not deserve D tier for dead, alright? I'll make it up to you guys. She's A tier. But for this list, she makes it at 11. Just like you guys, I love Unohana, but specifically her Kenpachi gimmick, alright? Before that, I really didn't care. Give me Unohana's Kenpachi gimmick all day. We only got to see one fight from this gimmick of Unohana, but let's be honest. Her fight with Kenpachi was a top 3 fight for Kenpachi. Kubo, if you're watching this, which I know you're not, but if you are watching this, if you somehow come across this, please give us some more Kenpachi Unohana, please. Listen, Kubo, Shonen Jump, I got a great idea for you guys, okay? You can do this with other mangas too, but take Bleach and do what ifs. Like, what if Kenpachi Unohana fought Aizen? Kenpachi Unohana versus Yamamoto. Kenpachi Unohana versus Ichigo. Do it now, please, and you know, give it to Mappa. Old man Yama. Who doesn't love this old geezer? Some of you all might be thinking, isn't he ranked a little too low? And I understand he might be. He lives up to the name of the head captain of the Gotei 13, one of the strongest characters in the Bleach universe, period. The only fire user in anime who can give Natsu Dragneel a run for his money. His Bankai is capable of destroying the Soul Society upon activation. Just completely turns off Toshiro's Bankai whenever it's on. And look, Yamamoto is 0-2. He is 0-2, but those 2 losses only came about because his opponents cheated. They cheated. But it is funny to see old man Yama go, I am here. There is no greater defense. Like, pfft, okay, Gojo. Hey, listen, the only reason why Yoruichi is ranked this high is because I have a crush on her, okay? That's my baby girl. That's my Pookie. How dare I rank my Pookie lower than an old man who wears adult diapers? She is easily one of the best characters, one of the coolest characters in Bleach, in a world full of sword-wielding samurai grim reapers. Yoruichi pulls up to the knife fight with hands, nothing but straight lefts and rights. Hey, let's not forget about her lightning powers, her Shunko, and that Thundercat form. I might cosplay Yoruichi at DreamCon, who knows? She's that damn cool. Man, those early days of Bleach, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, Yoruichi was carrying. Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, Yoruichi was a top 5 character pre-Arankar arc. Yeah, I said it. Hey, tell me when I'm telling lies, because Yoruichi is one of the only characters on this list who can be recognized by non-Bleach watchers. But you know, it does kind of suck that her last appearance in the manga was getting her ass collapsed by Askin. But hey, she was looking fun as fuck, dawg, like shit. The Drip God, head captain of the Gotei 13, Shunsui Kyuraku. Hey, my man Shunsui gets it. Real men wear pink. And then you add that straw hat and the eye patch. I'm telling you, Kubo's best design. On top of that, he has one of the most unique Shikais in all of Bleach. You can literally force your opponent to play tag or something. And then on top of that, you have his busted ass Bankai. Ayo, my favorite Shunsui moment is when Ichigo was like, I can never imagine Chad losing. And then we cut over to Chad unconscious on the ground and Shunsui standing right next to his main chick with the dub. Hey, I got a great nickname for him, the Fraud Exposer. He exposed Chad as a fraud. He exposed Stark as a fraud. You're not the strongest Espada, huh? You're not. If I had one word to describe Soi Fon, then it would have to be underrated, because I swear, I don't really see that many people praising Soi Fon, giving her the credits that she deserves. Soi Fon deserves her flowers, and I can see people in the comments already upset. Why is Soi Fon ranked higher than Unohana, Yamamoto? I'll tell you why. Because even though Soi Fon might not be the Kenpachi or the head captain, she gets results. Despite her rank not being as high as theirs, she gets results. She has more dubs than Unohana and Yamamoto. Matter of fact, she has more dubs than both of them combined. You see, Soi Fon resides in an area filled with people who walk around with swords at their hips and shanks, and Soi Fon's main weapon is a long fingernail. And that's all she needs really, because she's one of the greatest shinobis the world has ever seen. Because all it takes is 2 hits from Soi Fon and you'll be sent straight to the Shadow Realm. You know, if that doesn't kill you, then she'll just hit you with the rocket launcher. Like, it really doesn't matter. And with a design like this, Soi fine as fuck. Hey, Kubo, why didn't you have Soi Fon in the place of Renji? As a Soi Fon's biggest glazer, I'm telling y'all, go ahead and hop on the train. We have already ranked the strongest ice using captain in the Gotei 13, but we haven't ranked the best, and the best is Rukia Kuchiki. And look, I know some of you might say, well, that's not fair to use her feats and credentials from before she was a captain. Look, you have to do that to apply for jobs. So, you know, she's using her credentials from before she was a captain to apply for a high ranking on this list, and she got it. But I'm also ranking her this high based on her growth. I saw when she was a weak Soul Reaper, needing the help of a human to help her fight a Hollow, all the way up until the point she unlocked the most beautiful Bankai in the Soul Society. And she's doing all of this while looking this sick. Kubo's first ever design, the first ever character that we saw in the anime. I see why Kubo presented her first. This man knocked it out of the park with her. Hey, shout out to the royal training outfit that she wore. That John is clean. Rukia earned her spot as a captain, and she earned her high spot on this list. Alright, look, I wasn't the biggest fan of Mayuri at the beginning of Bleach. This man was essentially a bad guy that's just on our side. But as I got further into Bleach, I realized that's exactly what makes Mayuri cool. Mayuri has committed so many crimes, and yet we still cheer for him. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? But Nemu is Mayuri's daughter. So that means on TV, in 4K, we have seen Mayuri commit child abuse. Openly admit he engages in experiments on his child. And yet, he is still employed by the Gotei 13. Hey, my man Yama he just lets it slide. Hey yo, they can't afford to lose Mayuri's moist, wrinkly brain. Like my guy, did you see what he did to Xyloporo? That's a crime against humanity. I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. Mayuri's brain is next level. The Gotei 13 cannot afford to lose that moist, wrinkly brain of Mayuri's. Low key, Mayuri is really just an anime version of Batman. Also, what I like about Mayuri is that his design changes throughout the series. Like, he always has a different look. I really like that about Mayuri. But remember how I said Mayuri was the second smartest man in the Soul Society? Well, the number 1 guy is Kisuke Urahara himself, the man with the highest IQ in all of Soul Society history. The Kisuke Urahara, Mr. Hattencloths, the founder of the Research and Development Institute, the maker of the Hogyoku, the man who sealed Aizen, the smartest man in Soul Society history. What hasn't this man done? He's trained with the second coming of the Soul King. He's the coolest guy in the show with a design that shouldn't work, but it really does. He clapped Yoruichi in sandals. I'm sorry to the Mayuri fans, but it just feels wrong. It hurts in my soul to have Kisuke ranks lower than Mayuri. Nah, Kisuke on top. And that's not an insult, it's just a fact of life. We just had Rukia Kuchiki on the list, and don't get me wrong, she's a fantastic captain. She has a great future ahead of her, but when it comes to being the best Kuchiki in the family, it has to be the one, the only Byakuya Kuchiki. I like to describe Byakuya as the perfect Bleach character. He's a master in everything Soul Reaper, Shunpo, Kido, Shikai, Bankai, whatever it is, you can name it, he's mastered it. He can throw hands with you, it doesn't matter. He has great character development. His design, simple but yet effective, another Kubo banger. Then we look at the Royal Palace drip set and ooh, top 5 baby. Byakuya is the prime example of a Soul Reaper, of a Bleach character. So it sucks ranking him at number 3, it really does, but it's just because the characters above him just do everything he does, but better. But hey, don't get it twisted, if you said Byakuya was the best captain in Bleach, I would also agree with you. He's a reliable captain, the Shawn Michaels of Bleach. Byakuya is absolutely amazing. And there's no denying it. At what point did you think I wasn't going to put Aizen on the list? Like, come on. You can't have a best captain list and not have Aizen on it. And having him near the very top, yeah, duh, no brainer. Kubo was absolutely cooking when he wrote Aizen. He's a perfect blend of threatening and sexy. I mean, Aizen is a anime villain, a Hall of Famer, and one of the best, might I add. Coming out with some of the most iconic moments in all of shonen. My man Aizen stopped the main character's theme song. He broke the fourth wall by accident. My man used his Aizen level brain to plan all of Ichigo's life. He wrote Bleach. Without Aizen, Bleach, it wouldn't exist. He pretty much planned out Kubo's entire life. My man Aizen soloed the entire Gotei 13, and the only reason that they stopped him is because Ichigo had to go get plot armor boosting powers. And even then, they couldn't stop him. They had to seal him. He's Gojo before Gojo. And he did all of this with just his Shikai. We don't even know his Bankai. Hell, does he need a Bankai? You know, earlier I compared Aizen to Gojo, and you know, I think that fits because Aizen was the original throughout the Soul Society and Earth. He alone is the honored one. Was there any doubt that Kenpachi Zaraki would stand at the very top of this list? I know you guys have your Aizens, your Byakuyas, your Yamamotos, and those are great and all, but for me, I need me a little Zaraki. But why is Zaraki at the top of the list? Well, I'll explain it like this. In order to be a captain of the Gotei 13, in order to be a Soul Reaper, you must love to fight. You must fall in love with getting down and dirty with your opponent. You must enjoy the thrill of battle, and nobody in Bleach does that better than Kenpachi Zaraki. He is the only man in multiple 5-star matches throughout the entire series, and he drops nothing but banger after banger after banger. Ichigo versus Kenpachi, banger. Kenpachi versus Unohana, banger. Kenpachi versus Grimmy, banger. Even Kenpachi versus Noritora, banger. Zaraki don't miss. I compared Aizen to Gojo, but when you look at the Unohana versus Zaraki fight, that was the original between heaven and earth, I alone, and the Kenpachi. He is the blueprint for all Black Air Force energy characters. Every single battle anime must have that one character who just loves a good scrap, and Kenpachi is the original and arguably the best example of one. And he is the best captain in all of Bleach.